Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for this second map in the Team Ignis versus Team Harbingers cast. This time we are now on King's Row. Racket, what do you think is going to be the difference between Eichenwald and King's Row for Team Harbingers?
Well, the thing is, Shiz, Eichenwald is a map that often a lot of teams don't practice. I mean, it is a very weird map. I mean, the first point is often ridiculously hard to get through. And Harbingers got a very good first push and it just snowballed off from there. So, I mean, this is a very different map. I mean, it's really half-half. It's not an overpowered map. This is something that we see, you know, quite often. You know, Eichenwald is very defense-centric. This one is a bit more balanced than that. I mean, you have heads and tails for this one, while Eichenwald is only tails. It's pretty much just like that, you know, the whole philosophy. This one's rather more even. Tryhard's just looking at the windows there just to see different all the heroes
Peering in for the window.
Yeah. But you know, I'm gonna listen to Tryhard. I'm gonna talk about the team compositions. So, Zomg, he could very well be playing that Sombra. He often does play a lot of Sombra on this map, as I've noticed. Arceus does like to go up there with the arrow to get vision. But the thing is, Ignis are running a standard triple tank composition as per usual. Can this wacky strat of Harbingers go through this very strong composition? It's going to be all up to the Sombra to see if they can get a pick. Looks like he's changing off into the Sombra.
Yeah, the teams often seem to do that. They try to go for both the Hanzo and the Widowmaker to be able to get a kill up the straight off the bat. Sorry. We see Youngfuck getting hooked there, but not getting really punished for that situation where he could have gone down. We see quite a lot of members of Team Ignis getting a little bit scattered, but managing to get back their composure. Hero getting a bit caught out there. Jaws getting himself hooked, almost losing his mech, and getting down by the nice swing by Virginia. We see Hero climbing around up the top here. Zone getting hooked, but dashing away at the last minute. Looks like Team Ignis have really stepped up their game with their hold.
Yep, Team Ignis. That very first successful hold is quite important because in the previous rounds, Harbingers just sprinted through there and just went through their defenses. This was definitely a good sign for Ignis, but Zomg has that EMP very early, so I think Harbingers is looking for an early rush, and this is the best time to do it because Acacius is nearing his visor. Virginia's holding
out comes the EMP by Zone as the rest of the members of Harbingers do try to initiate in that situation. Youngfuck getting himself anti-healed, going down. Tillum getting himself put to sleep but immediately getting back up. Sun God, well, out comes that self-destruct from Jaws, but not really able to pick anybody else up because of Virginia's good shields. We see Jaws getting hooked and picked out there, just getting some really good hooks. Out comes the nano... Oh god, Sun God, just popping off his ult there, not really making a good job of that nano boost there. But out comes the ult from Virginia, getting completely wasted as he's getting whiffed. Tryhard popping off his sound barrier, and we also see Youngfuck popping off his one. Oh, beautiful boop coming in from Tryhard, managing to push him away. We see Tillum picking up a kill on Zone with that self-destruct, but getting anti-heal, so he's going to be coming right back out of that mech. See Youngfuck charging the mech into the wall, not really able to get anything because it was the mech. Tryhard climbing up these walls, looking for his own little situation. We see Youngfuck, Arceus trying to sneak around the side here. I realize that we're going to have the nightmare of Arceus and Arceus in the same match, but this fight will be going to Team Harbingers. Racket, please tell me what happened in that fight.
Well, I mean, I think Harbingers just mainly surprised them. I mean, look at their ults at the moment. They have accumulated a lot just from that skirmish. They all collapsed onto the point at the same time. Zomg always doing a very good job with that Sombra, and also Sun God was nano boosted in that fight. Scattered a lot of the Ignis team with that Primal Rage, and it did manage to let Zomg access through there. Sombra isn't really good in an all-out fight without the EMP. Once you get that Primal Rage and cut through a lot of the defense, that's when it's very good. EMP!
Well, just as you say, mate, out comes the EMP and the Deeper Bomb by Jaws, managing to pick up a kill of his own. That EMP really throwing off the enemy team there, really throwing off Ignis. Ignis getting picked off one by one in their own little scatter fights. The only member left up is Spinder, off in the little corner, getting himself jumped on by a monkey and a mech. Not looking very good for Ignis here as they do end up getting wiped once again.
Yeah, I mean, Harbingers just seem to be comboing their abilities reasonably well. You have 3 members on fire as you look onto the Ignis side. I mean, no one really is retaliating. Harbingers is just stomping at the moment. They're doing a fantastic job, and another fight is going to erupt as to this defensive on the last fight.
We saw a double charge there. We see SunGod with that nano boost, trying to get some damage out. Not really on the back. There we go. He's possibly jumping on the back line, trying to get that damage out. Looks like they're going to be capturing the point. Good job by Harbingers as Young Thug tries to jump, charge in there, getting the kill on Spinner. What a great charge. Also picking up the kill on Archius there. We also see SunGod trying to screw up with a bit of the backline there. Just completely punching Dio in a corner, making sure he will get staggered in this next fight. That will happen probably very soon as we see Zone with his EMP ready. He's coming around in the background, trying to hack Virginia. Manages to get that hack off Virginia. He won't be able to put up his shield for a short while, but Harbingers won't be able to make much of a deal with that, seeing as they are only going to be able to initiate
Somebody's coming through with the EMP!
Yeah, he's coming out with that EMP. There comes the EMP. Out comes also the Earth Shatter. Virginia going himself down. Young Thug managing to pick up that kill there on Virginia. We see Self-Destruct coming out from blue team here. Sorry, not blue team. Team Ignis managing to pick up a kill on Hero. Archius coming back, managing to get a bunch of those kills off now that he's not actually getting killed. Jaws quite low up the top, but it's going to have to be a disengage by Harbingers as Ignis managed to take that point.
As good as that EMP was from Zong, I mean, it's not really that good without a combination of a damage ultimate that I think that Earthshatter did come out as well, but not really any damage to follow it up afterwards. Zong is going on to Widowmaker. Quite interesting. I haven't seen much of Zong and Widowmaker. Looking for that pick, and Arcacius is proving to be quite a pest in the air with that Pharah as well. So looking to counter pick him, and Widowmaker could be the key, because Arcacius is causing trouble in his backlines, and he's nano boosted.
Nano boost coming out on Arcacius there, and also Jaws. Arcacius popping off his rocket barrage, but getting sniped down out of the sky as Jaws deletes his entire roll. Young Thug charging in here, managing to take out Tillum out of the mech. We see Virginia backing up out of the situation. We see D-Roll getting just caught up in that little corner, not really able to do much. Bit of a waste. See Virginia and Young Thug both charging each other. Virginia looking like he's popping out his both teams popping out their Earth Shatter, but Young Thug's Earth Shatter does seem to miss as Archius does pick up that kill on Arceus. SunGod looking in a situation where he's getting picked off just as well. Arcacius doing so much work, really cleaning up these fights. Really good job by him.
Triple kill with that McCree already. He just switched onto it, and he has 54% instantly after switching to it previously, and that's quite impressive. Thing is, I mean, Ignis really need to... well, they don't really have too much resources to work with. They do have that sound barrier, which would be key to sort of stagger the Sun God Primal Rage as he comes in, and it's going to be a very useful tool. I mean, looking at this fight now, the Pharah needs to be focused. I mean, look at Zom and what he's doing in the backline here.
Yeah, we see
Tillum's defending him though.
Yeah, Tillum managing to stop off Archius there. I'm getting mixed between these names. Zome, and then looks like SunGod managed to pick up that kill on Tryhard. Spinner taking out somebody for himself. Zome coming in, trying to get some of that damage out as Dio extends very deep here to be able to kill Arceus. Does he manage to pick up the kill? Yes, he does. So that's going to be another stagger for Team Ignis as they're able to hold this point with a minute left on the clock. Do you believe Harbingers will be able to take this point?
Well, they do have some resources to work with. It's going to be all up to Jaws' ult. See if they can use that for a bit of zone control. If Zom gets his rocket barrage, you fire them off at the same time. Oh, Virginia's Earth Shatter though.
Virginia brings out his Earth Shatter, managing to catch a few members. Looks like the Fire at Will Nano Boost does come out as well. Is that what I saw? I'm not sure. I didn't even see that. But there comes the Nano Boost on SunGod, and that ult coming out from Jaws. That Self-Destruct picking up 2 kills for himself, looking nice and cozy as Harbingers have only lost 1 member while Team Ignis have lost 2, but keep in mind that they do have that spawn advantage as SunGod is moving in here mostly by himself. Out comes the rocket barrage by Zone, picking up 2 kills before it gets deleted by Tillum. Little bit slow on there. Young Thug charging in, trying to bully Spinner, but deciding to go for another target instead. As we see Young Thug in the background. Out comes his Earth Shatter from Young Thug, managing to catch a few members there, getting quite a bit of damage out. Nobody really going down in this situation. The Nano Boost does go out on Tillum, so he no longer will have that extra damage. Out comes this Earth Shatter from Virginia. Both Reinhardts getting these ults very quickly, getting that charge on Jaws in the backline. Tillum trying to fight Young Thug here, trying to take him down. Out comes another charge from Young Thug. We see the Nano Boost coming out on SunGod to see if he can actually get some of the damage on Archius, trying to get off that high noon. but not able to find many people. Does get Sun God with it. Looks like Young Thug trying to delay, get in here, do some damage. Hero staying on that point. Both of them trying to make sure this point can stay as long as it can while the rest of the members come in. Zone now on this Tracer to be able to stay alive and stay on this point for longer. We see a few members falling off of the point there. I think Tryhard did knock off the Leo there. And what we just saw there was Tillum popping his ult, pushing a few members off of the point. No, not so. Yeah, pushing a few members off the point as they were able to. Wait, did they cap that?
No, they didn't.
Okay, they didn't cap that.
So Tillum launched off his self-destruct sequence, and he pushed a few members off the point.
That was
as they were defending.
That was a great job. You think Ignis will need here to be able to push this point all the way to the same distance that Harbingers did?
Well, the most difficult part of this map is certainly the end over there because of the spawn and it's so, close. It's really going to be up to Ignis to push through this little point fast, and I think it gives them an advantage going into that final point because it is very difficult to cap. We often see teams, the overtime scenarios, always run on that final point because of how close that spawn is, and I think one of the best ways to go about capturing the first point quickly is going for a dive comp. I haven't really seen much of Virginia on Winston. I'm mainly used to him seeing, on Reinhardt, but they do have flexible hero pools, and I think they are able to perform a dive comp. Whether they're going to pick that or not, I'm not too sure, but I think it'd definitely be the best scenario to go through this team. And Zomka's also onto Soldier, which is something that we haven't seen too much of him. We mainly see him, as Sombra. And that Farah. You can also play a bit of Tracer as well, but something we haven't really seen of him previously, looking to hold a little bit of that high ground there. Arceus back up on that building through the hole, and pretty good formation here from Harbingers. Nice defensive setup. Everyone's going to be going behind Young Thug 69's Reinhardt shield.
And they make me giggle every time, Racket.
Yeah, Tillum's going to fire that scatter arrow. They're going to find a bit of valuable information. And I think they're going to be constructing a dive comp here, Ignis.
Yeah, it looks like that with also Dio on that that Genji. We know he is quite skilled on the Genji, along with their other DPS, Kitsune. They're both very good on that Genji. We're hopefully going to see some good stuff coming out there. We see Arceus getting hooked there, but not going down. There was a good job by him. We see Virginia jumping on the point here, trying to get that damage out. Young Thug swinging around his hammer, trying to get some damage off. We see Dio and Tillum in the backline, but Tillum does go down by Sun God. We see Dio trying to get some damage out here. We see Virginia also in that backline, getting some damage off, but Jaws is going to bring down that that deadly hook on him and be able to take him out of that situation. We see quite a lot of scattered fighting going on between these two teams.
Yeah, man. It looks like everyone looks to be trading up. Ignis on the front foot once again, looking to gather a lot of that Zarya shield. Tillum is, and looking for the full reset. The Spinda also has that nano boost. Some has the tactical visor. I'd like to see some go on the high ground here and try and perform it as the Harbinger squad is going in. But Harbinger look to be slowly pushing in right now.
Yeah, we see Jaws getting caught out here in quite a bad situation. He might be going down in right now. We see a Graviton Surge coming in from Sun God, managed to capture quite a lot of people. But a good shield by Virginia manages to keep them all alive in that situation as Zone pops off his tactical visor, looking to clean up some kills there. Nano Boost coming out on Dio, not popping that Nano Blade, making sure to hold on to it in that situation because they knew they were winning that fight. Looks like Ignis is taking this point. We're going to see Harbingers trying to hold these last few points, seeing as they did not make it all the way to the end. Racket,
yeah.
What do you think is happening with these team fights?
Well, Sun God ended up getting a good Graviton Surge there in the end, but the thing is, as you mentioned previously, Virginia did have that bubble shield around to protect all members. The Spinda also did have that biotic healing grenade, so they had the necessary defense tools to withstand and sustain through that Graviton Surge, and they did a good job going into that fight now. But looking at the old economy, I think Dio and Virginia, Acacius, they need to combo the ults here. They also have the defensive utility of Tryhard Sound Barrier. This is pretty much all good news here for this Ignis squad, and I think they need to utilize it quite soon as they're going around this corner.
There comes the Graviton Surge as Virginia comes to this point. We see Dio popping off his ult here, the Dragon Blade trying to get some damage out here. Buddy is anti-healed, but that goes away shortly. We see him get hooked, almost get taken down by Jaws. Jaws getting taken down. We see Team Ignis really showing their dominance, jumping in here, jumping on that backline. we're going to see a stagger by Sun God, seeing as he's caught out of the situation. Virginia put to sleep. Here comes a teabag by Hero as he tries to run away. Pretty funny coming from this team. But Team Ignis did win that fight again. Do you think it's because of this dive comp, or is it something that Harbingers is doing wrong?
Yeah, I think it is because of the dive comp, and don't forget, we haven't seen that much Soldier on Zom, so it's understandable how he switched up to this Pharah, but Team Fight is erupting!
But never mind about that, you don't really get the time to talk as Jaws brings out the Nano Hog, trying to get a bit of damage out there, but not picking up any kills, getting caught in that back line. We see a few members of Harbingers picking up a couple kills. We see, yeah, pretty much Team Ignis disengaging from this fight. They know they've lost it. They didn't manage to get the point, so this is looking quite good for Harbingers as they're able to stall for more time in that kind of situation.
Yeah, it is looking very good for Harbingers, and I think a key component of that is Zom. I mean, I didn't think he was doing too much on that Soldier. Now that he's switched to the Pharah, he appeared to be doing a lot more work. I mean, I haven't really seen too much of this Soldier, but his Pharah damage, whether they do have the answer or not, it does cause a lot of pressure. The Spinda does have that nano boost, but Harbingers have those two crowd control ultimates, so they're going to be very versatile, holding this choke in that defense. Young Thug can be very patient as they're coming in, go for the Earth Shadow.
Yeah, Virginia trying to jump in there, jump in the backline. Out comes the Graviton Surge on members of Team Ignis, looking for that defense there. Dio getting caught on that as well, but deflecting. Out comes the... Is this the Nano Blade? No, he does not have the blade yet, but... Out comes the Nano Blade, now here it comes. Zone picking up a triple kill there with his ult, looking very good. Dio coming in, swinging his sword, managed to get quite a bit of damage out there, not really getting any picks, but it is getting cleaned up by his team as just clean up after this point. Racket, what went wrong there? We saw so many ults coming out from Team Ignis, but none of them really worked that well.
Yeah, well, Dio didn't really end up killing anyone with that Dragon Blade there, and Hero didn't even pop his Lucio ultimate, so a bit of a worry there. Maybe a team can't misread, and Dio has decided to switch to the Soldier, probably because of the result of that fight, and Zom pretty much did a lot more damage than Dio did in the backline there with that Rapid Barrage, and getting triple. But that's a way to start off a fight. Virginia, good pick.
Yeah, starting out, we saw him get caught out of that position, Young Thug, as Virginia managed to capitalize on that. Jaws popping his whole hog here, trying to get a few people out of that position, but we see the sound barrier coming out from Tryhard. Good charge coming in from Virginia, not really picking up anything, but Tillum cleaning up that battle. We see Zone getting kicked out of the sky. Good job by Lespinder and the rest of his team. This point will be going to Team Ignis.
Fantastic job there from Virginia. Two key charges there. The first one getting Young Thug there at the start, initiating the pick, and then getting Jaws with a fantastically aimed charge, and it really did snowball that fight very quickly, and it makes their resources there. They can purchase and invest a lot of their ultimates into this next fight as well, because they're nearing the point, and it looks like that Harbingers are giving them a lot of room. Look at their positioning. They seem to be going for the full reset, but they're all in a very defensive position, looking to go behind Young Thug. Young Thug is slowly pushing in. They have that Graviton Surge and the Nano Boost they're going to be using as defensive, but the self-destruct...
Well, there comes the self-destruct. We see Young Thug getting put to sleep just a little bit late there as Team Ignis managed to clean up a lot of this fight, and we see pretty much this Diva getting caught out in this situation away from his team because they all were down back in that back line. We see a bunch of members of Team Harbingers respawning here, going to be able to delay this point as Team Ignis did back off, giving them that little bit of extra room. See the Graviton Surge coming out from Team Ignis, looking to clean up this battle. We see another Graviton Surge coming out, but it doesn't really end up doing much. Team Ignis will be taking this point, seeing as nobody from Harbingers were able to stand on that point. Racket, tell me, how was Ignis able to take all those points and the part at the end? Why Harbingers weren't able to do that?
Too much value with their cooldowns. I think that Tillum did a very good job with his Graviton Surge, more so than Sun God that game, and it was very good to see Virginia get a few key charges as well. It's very impressive there. And also just generally Ignis weren't getting picked out that often. We saw on several cases that where the Young Thug, where the Hero got caught out at the beginning of the fight, and it just ended up snowballing in Ignis's advantage there. And they just take advantage of it. You know, it's once you get someone picked off, when you go against a decent team, they'll take advantage of it. It's very important to stay in formation. Don't be cocky with your plays, because it seemed like the Harbingers were doing that. They were playing a bit more too far forward. on several occasions one person was caught out, and to be honest, they did a very good job fighting those fights with a one-man disadvantage. Like, pretty much most of them were very close, but the fact is, the matter is, a 5v6 is a 5v6. That's just how it works in terms of Overwatch.
Racket, if you would have asked me before this if Harbingers, how Harbingers would have done against Ignis, I would definitely say Harbingers would have not have done just as well, but they are putting up such a great fight. Anyway, we'll be back shortly with the last map by the looks of it. It might be Anubis, they might be joking with us. We'll be back shortly, see you all then.